Okay, while you're finishing, your homework is going to be finishing that worksheet. So problems 29 to 42. That's going to be your homework. That's due on Monday. Round your answers to the nearest 1,000. All right, so you guys both have that worksheet, right? Okay. All right, so looking here at number 1, what's the first thing we want to do on number 1?
I changed it to log.
You changed it to log base E?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. So I could write down 1/2 log base E of 2x equals 3. All right, good to know ln just stands for log base E. All right, now what can we do? Divide by 1/2. Divide by 1/2, and these cancel. So you get log base E of 2x equals, what's 3 divided by 1/2?
6?
Did you say 1/6 or 6?
No, 6.
It's 6. Because it's really 3 times 2 over 1. All right. So now we can set this up in exponential form. What's exponential form going to be? That's right. So we're going to add e to the 6th equals 2x. And we want to divide both sides by the 2. So we have e to the 6th over 2 is equal to x. All right. So this would be exact if I left it like that. If you're asked to round, if you are asked to round, I want you to round to the nearest 10,000. So nearest 10,000. All right, yeah. All right, nearest 10,000, what would that be? $201.4 decimal places 10,000, right?
Yeah, 7144.
7144. All right, this is rounded. Nearest 10,000. All right, let's do number 2. Number 2, first thing you'd want to do is probably divide by 5, I'd say. Divide this by 5, divide this by 5, both sides. So we end up with log, and if there's no base, it's the common log, which is base 10 of x plus 4 equals. Now you can keep this as 6.3 over 5. In this case, it would not be harmful to divide that because I think you end up with a terminating decimal. If you ended up with a repeating decimal, you just would want to keep the fraction. But if you have a terminating decimal, what do you get? 1.26. Since that's terminating, you're not going to be rounding it. So that is actually an exact answer. So in this case, you could just write 1.26 over here. If it was a repeating decimal, you really have to be careful because you're going to start rounding and your answer is not going to be exact, and just got to be careful with that. Now, what is exponential form from here? 10 to the 1.26 power equals x plus 4. And then from there, we're going to do subtract 4. Subtract 4. So we have 10 to the 1.26 minus 4. Now you could have gotten that number and then subtracted 4, but I'm going to do it like this. All right, what's that value going to be to the nearest 10,000? 14.1. 70. So that's approximate now. The students keep reminding me if I ever put an equal, they say that's approximate. So that's good. So this is exact. And we rounded, that's approximate. All right. So, no questions on that? You guys okay? So I'm gonna, all right, so look at number 12 on your worksheet. Number 12 on your worksheet looks like this. Now we haven't done one like this. Did you guys do something like this last year? Either one of you?
Maybe.
Maybe? Don't remember either one? Well, either way, it's new to us in this class, whether you did it last year or not. It's a little different because of the way it looks. We're actually going to watch a video that has one similar to this, and then we'll come back and do this one. All right, so this is number 12. Actually, your homework's not going to have anything like this, but I did want to go over this. The homework's going to have mostly ones we've been dealing with before this. But factoring this is a little bit more difficult than the video. For what reason? Yeah, it's got this leading coefficient other than 1, so it's got a 2 here. That makes it a little more difficult, but we can still do it. Sequoia, what did you get when you factored it?
I did slide and divide.
Okay, so when you did slide and divide, what did you do?
I moved it 2 and multiplied it to the 3.
Okay, so you multiply that. What was your resulting thing that you got?
E to the 2x minus 5e to the x minus 6 is 0.
All right, so I'm just going to factor this part, then I'll put equal zeros at the end. All right, so then what?
Then I got e to the x minus 6 as one of the factors.
Uh-huh.
Then I got the one was e to the x plus 1.
Plus 1.
And you gotta divide the 2 factors.
All right, yes, that's the part on the test that a lot of people forget that I see a lot. They do this part, they do the slide part, but they don't do the divide part. You got to, what do you have to divide by now?
2.
Yeah, you have to come back and divide by this 2. And you divide the coefficients of your, or not coefficients, the constants in your factor, your numbers in your factor. So what do you end up with here? There's for your first one.
E to the x minus 3.
So e to the x minus 3. All right. And what about your second one?
2 e to the x plus
2. Yep. So we slide that 2e to the x plus 1. You technically can keep it the same without doing slide and divide when you're solving, but we're used to doing that, so we'll just do it. Now I'll put my equal 0 here. And what do we do now? Set them equal to 0. So we have e to the x minus 3 is equal to 0. And 2e to the x plus 1 is equal to 0. Incidentally, how would we check to see that we were right in factoring? Like, once you got here, how would we check to see that that's right? Yeah, we could multiply it out. So if we did e to the x times 2e to the x, you get 2e to the 2x, right? And then you get e to the x times 1 is 1e to the x minus 3 times 2, so that's negative 6e to the x. That'll give you a negative 5. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. All right. So now we do this. We have plus 3 plus 3. So e to the x equals 3. Think did you do this one?
Mm-hmm.
What do you?
No, I got e to the x is 6.
Because you didn't divide?
Yes, I didn't write the 3 after I divided.
Okay. So now if we get here, what do we have to do on both sides? Yeah, you can use log base e. So I want to keep emphasizing that. You can use log base 10 rather. You can use any log, but the natural log is going to be much easier. So we'll take the natural log both sides. So remember, when you have natural log of e, that's just 1. So this will actually go away and just be 1, and we can drop down this exponent. So we have x equals the natural log of 3. And if we round that to the nearest, let's just do 1,000, what is that going to be? 1.097. Approximately. Alright, so x is approximately 1.097. Once we come over here, we subtract 1. We get 2e to the x equals negative 1. And divide by 2. E to the x equals negative 1/2. Alright, so what happens here?
Can't solve it.
Can't solve it. Now, hopefully you'll get to the point where you can see that e to the x, there's no value of x that's going to make it negative. So there's no value you can put in for x that e to that will be a negative number. If you don't recognize that and you go through and solve it, you would do natural log, so this would cancel. This would be x equals natural log of negative 1/2. Once you put in this negative 1/2, the natural log of that, it's going to give you an error, so that's not going to be a solution. Right, so our value is, our exact value, natural log of 3, approximately 1.097.